Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, remember to hit that bell for notifications for when we drop new videos. Ladies and gentlemen, it is October. What's up? Quick video here. David, my man,
Charlie,
and I can already feel the season, man.
I am here for it. I've been watching haunted TV shows, movies, everything to get ready for this month. Mind you, yes, people always, anytime is good to watch that stuff. I feel that. I do. But there's no time like right now.
October has got its own feel this year.
It
I don't
does.
know. Like last year I was in a funk.
Well, yeah, because
Like
COVID.
this time last year, I had no Halloween feelings. I wasn't even excited for it or anything. But this year, I'm
Bring
on it.
it.
I am
Freaking
on it.
bring it. I'm
Yes.
so ready. I'm so ready. And I think so. Along with our plans for Eureka Springs, I actually might go up to Branson and go to Silver Dollar City because apparently they do this like pumpkins in the city thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
never heard of it, but one of my bosses was telling me about it, and he said it's really cool. So I might go check it out on one of my other days. So
Nice. Hey, Angel.
hello, Angel. So yeah, I'm excited for it. But yeah, I am so ready for this
Yeah.
season.
I've got some plans myself. Next week is going to be awesome.
I'm sure you've got some nice spooky stuff.
I get my gonna have my daughter all week,
Good.
so we're gonna carve pumpkins,
Nice.
and then I'm gonna take her to a corn maze where they've got like all these rides and stuff like that for kids and adults, and um, yeah, that's what my beard feels weird.
You guys
That's
are gonna
what
have a great time.
I think it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
Carved pumpkins yesterday with Jennifer and the boys.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that'd be kind of fun for them. They had a good time doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure they enjoyed it.
The oldest one didn't want to put his hands in the pumpkin, of course, and it was slimy. I'm like, you're a boy, get in there. So he used the ladle and he kept like scooping out one seed at a time. So it took a while. But yeah,
And just chuck that stuff out.
yeah,
That'd be perfect. Like if you wanted to like have like a haunted attraction or whatever, and you wanted people to feel like maybe guts or something, use the insides of pumpkins. It's fine.
yeah. There you go. Just keep them moist.
Yeah, exactly. Spray some water on there every now and then. It'll be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the highlight of my weekend. Like I had my daughter and she was sick though, so she couldn't really get
Oh, yeah.
to do anything. But
That
outside
happens.
of that, yeah, took care of her.
Well,
But yeah, I'm just ready for next week. That's all.
I'm pretty excited too. I don't think I have anything like big haunted stuff coming up as far as what I'm doing besides the thing at the end of the month. But let's see, this weekend, yesterday I went out to the lake with a friend of mine. Well, just like a close by lake. Spent some time with her and her family, and it was really nice. We went to just like a local like fishing lake, and man, even though the fish weren't really biting when we were there, but that's okay. We plan on going out next week again, so I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's the time. that you spend
It
there.
is. It really is. Just spending the time out there with everybody and
Unless you
having
go by yourself, then it's all about the fish.
Well, yeah. Then if you, oh yeah, if I was by myself, 100%.
Angel wants to know where you live, Charles.
I live in KC.
You should know that, Angel.
What's up,
What's up,
Ted?
Sassy?
Cashy, so cashy. No, yeah, I live in KC. Where I went though was down by Lewisburg, Kansas.
Oh, you were close enough to Garnett. What's up,
hmm
Trisha?
Actually, I was even closer. We were down by Paola and Lacine, Kansas. Yeah, so
One of these days, man. One of these days.
one of these days. What has it been, like 4 years now? We've been saying that. Three, not probably like 2 or 3 years.
That you'll eventually get there. You'll
Oh, I
eventually
know.
get there.
And it's
You
you're
know
gonna have
what?
some sort of crazy experiment concoction for me to do, so it's fine.
You know what I was thinking about doing? I was talking to John about this.
What?
Maybe this year. Halloween's on a Sunday.
Yes,
You're off on Sundays, right?
typically
No,
yes.
you are.
No, well,
Typically.
I mean, I have this Halloween requested off.
I was thinking, how cool would it be to go to Garnett on Halloween and do a live stream?
I'm down because it's
We-
it's not that far from where I'm at in KC, so
We've done it before where we set up DVR cameras and we streamed all cameras on the stream.
that would be really
So,
cool.
who knows? He just needs to come down and go a few places with you. Crystal Camp for sure.
I would love to go to Crystal Camp. That would be amazing. Which was it? Crystal Camp where the lady found the diamond here recently?
No, that's the Diamond Mine in Arkansas.
That's it. Okay, where's the Crystal Camp at?
Crystal Camp's outside of Mena, between Mena and Mena's pretty much between like Fort Smith and Little Rock.
Is that the one that you and John checked out?
Josh,
I guess, yeah, Josh. Yeah.
the one
thought-
where we
I
filmed.
thought you and John did some stuff there too, but okay, well, never mind.
But yeah, I mean, Halloween would be cool to do something. I've never actually. Might come to a surprise to many of you, but I don't think that I can remember. I don't think I've ever investigated on Halloween.
That's blasphemy.
I know, right?
For you, especially, that's quite surprising. I would have guessed that would have definitely happened by now, at least.
I've had invites and stuff. I've always had to work, or I've had something else going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what plans are with my daughter trick or treating. So
Well, I mean, that's a long week to spend down there. That's
Huh?
a long week to spend it. Well, I guess Garnett's not really down there. Never mind. Yeah.
like,
I was
we're not
thinking,
we're not spending a week down there.
well, no, I know what I'm saying. Like, I was thinking I was going to have to spend like a week down there, down like Knoll area, but I was like, all right, Garnett's
And
like
then-
up. It's
And then
farther
go
up.
back. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So it's
No.
like, okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, no, that would be swell. I know that I'm off the 1st and 2nd as well, so that would be perfect. I shouldn't have to go back until the 3rd.
We'll keep you posted. We'll figure something out.
Okay. See if nobody has that date already booked.
Right. That's the other thing too. I don't know if anybody's got it booked or not. I'm guessing so, but because it's Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
I
I think Malvern would be a lot of fun too, but throwing it out there.
This weekend I am speaking at a library talking about haunted places in the area.
Nice.
So-
Where at? Like which library?
Pineville, McDonald County, the county library here.
Yeah.
Just
Is
doing
it
a
you
little
and
free
multiple
event.
people, or is it just you?
Just me. Just doing a little free event.
That'll be fun.
I think people will enjoy it.
Oh yeah. See who shows up. What's up with the alien energy?
Could be your ear, bud.
Okay, so it's interesting that you mentioned that, Angel, and then Dave. Well, Dave knows because I told him a little bit ago. I would say probably about, gosh, what time is it now? 8:09. About probably 3 hours ago, my right ear started ringing really badly, and it would ring for a while, like a solid like 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden it would stop, but I would still have like phantom ringing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it's just been like constant. Well, thankfully, like I don't hear it now, it was just like, gosh, it was some of the loudest too. Like I remember sitting there and just like with the ringing, I could hear my heart pulsing in my ear.
You don't feel any lumps or anything back there, do you?
No, nothing sore. Like I'm good. Like, what do you think it is?
Probably like something in your ear. The aliens
Like an
implanted a
implant?
little something.
I mean, it's pretty wild that like it happened. I don't know. To me, it was pretty wild that it
We're gonna
happened.
get to
While I was,
thinking
like,
about it.
really, well, no, well, I'm just saying. I was also doing some more research on like Black Eyed Kids before the show, and then I came across an article talking about Black Eyed Kids and aliens.
Yeah.
And then that happened, and that's something I'm going to read about tonight too. And then Angel just mentioned the alien energy, so I'm a little confused.
All right, I'm gonna get back to Daisy's first little question here. If a BEK visits in a dream, is it considered a visit? This one felt pretty vivid. Little blonde girl with black eyes that turned blue once I started to toss her out of a second-story window.
Well,
When her eyes went from black to blue, she looked like a scared child. I started to bring her back inside. Her eyes went back to black, so I threw her out the window. Then I woke up.
dude,
That's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure I saw a UFO last night. And I'm just thinking about it. So when we were at the lake, one of the, okay, so you know how like planes, they'll have like always have some sort of flashing light on
Yeah,
them, right? Okay.
the
Well,
red and blue and
light was coming across and it was really bright. And somebody was like, oh, look, it's a satellite. And I'm like, that's way too bright to be a satellite. I was like, oh, it's probably just a plane and we'll hear it like when it comes over us. There was no sound, and it was dead quiet besides the fire going off next to us. But it was really quiet out there where we were at, and we could hear the bugs and stuff. But there was no plane noise. There was nothing. And the light, like it seemed far, but it wasn't like far. And it was moving fast and steady. And then eventually, once it was just bright, and then eventually it just like dimmed out, and then it was just completely gone, just gone.
Huh.
It was just wild.
How long do you think it took to cross the sky?
Well, I don't know because I didn't get an accurate like I wasn't the one who first saw it. It was like I turned around and I was like, "Oh, look!" And it was just like maybe I would say if 12 o'clock position is like straight up and down from the horizon, I would say it was probably like a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock was when I first saw it, and then it disappeared around probably, let's see, 12, 1, 2, 3. I'd say like 3 is where
Three's like this.
Okay, not 3. Then
2, 1.
1, 2. I would say between 1 and 2 is where it disappeared. It was wild. Like, I was totally expecting plane noise. There was nothing. Nothing. Yeah, and I didn't think it was a satellite because I've never seen a satellite like that bright before, ever.
Well, Charles, I don't know how to tell you this, bud. They're onto you. Or into you. However you want to look at it.
Well, isn't that funny? Well, I mean, and then reading Angel's comment saying, well, isn't that interesting? It just all of a sudden hit me about what I saw last night. I'm just like, wait a second.
Who was it? Who could it possibly be? Was it, oh, I don't know. Satan?
Possibly.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't have any weird like incisions or anything. And then like I said, my ear only started hurting, or not hurting, going off like a little while ago. So it wasn't like all day.
Well, you're not going to feel an alien incision. So surprisingly, they can seal up your skin like, more advanced than we could.
Well, if anything weird happens, I'll let you know.
All right.
I'll
Little critter comes crawling out of your ear. If you hear any like popping and stuff, those are just like spider eggs popping
That's
in your
just
ear.
normal, right? Does your butt hurt? No, my butt feels fine. Thank you. I check that about daily, but it's fine. You're on the radar now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with all the stuff that I look up and interesting things.
That's why Facebook crashed.
Because of aliens?
And they're onto you.
By the way, I think this whole whistleblower thing is fake, but it's fine. Anyways, we'll get there eventually.
All right, let's get into tonight's stories. Black-eyed kids.
Black-eyed kids, black-eyed children, something like that. One of the two.
So, have you got information describing the black-eyed kids You want to start it off?
Yeah, I got some info describing black-eyed kids.
There you go. Let's kick it off.
I've got information on what you should probably not do with black-eyed children, or
probably a lot of things. There's a lot of people that get angry when you do stuff with kids. I'm just saying the truth.
I hate you so much. Yeah, no, you probably shouldn't do that with kids or anything because people be looking at you all weird. So
unless you're an alien,
right? So people know, as the folklore and everything goes by, like, what are black-eyed children, right? So we can get into let's see here. The first known, like I would say, the first known actually documented case of black-eyed children was 1997, 1996,
somewhere around there, yeah,
somewhere there. But so anecdotal reports of encounters that may have been black-eyed children have been found going back over 100 years, which we don't know if it's actually them or not.
Yeah.
The first solid report of that was in 1996 or 1997, one of the two. There's many different websites that say either one. Of a guy named Brian Bethel, and his account of. See, that's I was gonna talk about that tonight, Angel. We're gonna get into that.
We'll get there.
So here's a little description of what black-eyed children look like, as if you couldn't tell, it's children with black eyes. But anyways,
right.
While the details of individual black-eyed children encounters vary, there are some general commonalities. Big words tonight. When are they not? These are what we use in classifying encounters with entities between BEK encounters and, say, a shadow person. So they tend to be in groups of 2 to 4. That it can vary. I've never really, like, some of the stories that I've read, it's mainly been multiple children, not just one. So, but there have been instances where there's one.
Yeah.
So they appear to be between 8 years old and late teens. So that's not weird. They wear clothes that are outdated or wrong for the season, speak oddly if it isn't their native language, very demanding and pushy, request entry into a home / car / life in some sort of way, appear and disappear without explanation, often exhibit psychic powers, can disrupt and affect electrical devices, have an aura that scares and disturbs animals. So one may ask, well, what do they want, right? What? Put it up there. It's funny, as I was looking through articles, the first thing that one of the articles led with was, no, not the black-eyed peas. So, yeah, Fergie's not a part of the group anymore, but it's fine. So what do they want? It's...
I want your swords.
Right, it's very hotly contested. Like, nobody really knows what they want. They just want what they want, and they're either going to try to get it pushily or not, whatever. It is clear that they want permission to enter into your life in some way, that's for sure. But to what end? There are occasional reports of people that have left, or that let them in and lived, but they are rare. In those cases, the people usually fled shortly after letting them in. There is one account where a couple let the children in and let them stay until what was ostensibly their parents arrived to pick them up. While nothing directly happened, they attribute to a series of bad events to their encounter, including a husband getting cancer, which I was going to actually read that event tonight.
Yeah.
So we can get into... You want to talk about aliens?
Yeah, let's talk about all the possibilities here.
All right, so I'll start off with the biggest, not biggest one, but
obvious one.
Are they demons? Right? Are they demons? They seem to need permission to gain entry into your lives,
like a vampire.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's one of the leading things that I always say when people ask, "What are black-eyed children?" Anyways, the act of asking to be let into a house or car is very reminiscent of a vampire. Dun, dun, dun. Perhaps in some way these creatures need to gain some sort of entry into our energy before they can do whatever they need to. In any case, encounters of BEKs always have negative consequences of some sort. Sickness, accidents, so on are common after even brushes with them. So with that, I'm going to ask real quick too. So if you start to have negative encounters with these things, do you think that it's just negative things are going to keep happening, or do you think you can maybe get like a curse breaker where it's maybe it's like a kind of curse where you're just all of a sudden cursed and you can?
I don't know. See, I remember reading a story a long time ago of somebody that let one of the BEKs in, and they left her a gift.
Hmm.
So I don't. She didn't have anything bad happen. She just felt like all the negativity and all this uneasiness and everything. But she was left a gift. So I don't know, man.
Was it a good gift or
Yeah, it was like I can't remember if it was just a jewel or if it was a piece of jewelry, like a
she
ring.
hasn't had any negative things happen to her?
No,
Huh. Maybe it was a good one. Trying to change the ways and the stigma of black-eyed children.
maybe I don't
Maybe.
know.
All right. Well, okay. Let's go on to aliens then, real quick. If all right, so possibly because BEKs have solid BEPs, whatever, have
He
solid black eyes, and because gray aliens are reported to have solid black eyes, some people think that BEKs might have some sort of alien-human hybrid. This account for their psychic abilities, difficulty with our speech, and of course their eyes. It doesn't explain their motive though. What would they gain by causing harm to human lives? Another tie to alien and UFO phenomenon is that out of place clothing, unusual speech patterns, and the ability to be places they shouldn't be, and then they disappear quickly. And then disappear quickly echoes much of what we hear of Men in Black,
Yep,
which
I
are
was just
thought,
about to say that.
yeah, which are thought to possibly be alien operatives of some sort. Supporting this in the case where the couple let the kids in, the parents that they called to pick them up were a couple of men in suits. Hmm, interesting. And this is just real quick, this little snippet of it. The men looked like they were wearing black clothes suits and were very tall, at least 6 feet. When my husband waved at them, they just stared at us, got into the car, and drove off. That's pretty wild.
So do you think maybe? And when we did our Men in Black show, we brought this up about the BEKs and Men in Black being tied together. Do you think the Black Eyed Kids could be like just little probes, like they would send out just to see, kind of get a feel
Maybe.
for you or something, and just
Maybe. Just like maybe get a probes to see if there's anything from you that they want.
or that they need to like secure, because I mean, I don't think nobody's ever reported like that's had a Men in Black encounter have ever really reported having a BEK encounter prior or after that I know of.
Well, people might have thought it was just some weird kids.
Possibly.
Men in Black are a little different story.
Yeah.
But you would think random children coming up to your door, that's not a different weird story.
And asking to be let in. I mean,
Yeah.
that is weird in itself. But like sometimes I wonder like if they're not, like if they're just little probes to see if you're somebody that they should be worried about and somebody they should be watching,
It's quite possible.
or maybe just gauging. Maybe they're gauging like your how your body's reacting to strange activity or strange behavior.
Yeah.
Like how you behave under pressure or something before they encounter you. Like,
I mean, I haven't really thought about that before. I've never really that's a pretty good way of thinking of it. I've just always kind of like took it as face value where it's just like, oh, random occurrence, and then that's it. Like that's all there is.
Yeah.
But thinking that they could be feeling you out for something else.
and Angel makes a good point too. Maybe it's a training exercise.
Yeah.
Maybe the BEKs are Men in Black, but younger. And they're just being trained to go to the people's houses.
It's just in the beginning. Yeah, I was gonna say it's okay. So let's see here. So that pretty much ends like that article of talking about. But let's get into that. I want to talk about that article about the people letting the kid into the kids into their house. So, it's the same website, but just kind of continuing on. Black-eyed kids give a man cancer. So bad things happen if you let the black-eyed kids into your home. There is no hard evidence to what happens if you let black-eyed children into your home or life. Only a handful of verifiable reports. This story about a couple letting black-eyed children into their house in 2015 and the resulting calamity is making the rounds on the internet, and I thought it bears looking at. Whether this is true account of black-eyed kids encounter or not, I can't say, and I'll reserve posting my judgment for now. So, the arrival of the kids to the house. The couple in this report live in a rural and secluded area of Vermont. It was a stormy winter night, and there were a fresh blanket of snow on the ground. The victim, uh, the victim was asleep when she was woken by a banging on her front door. Knowing that it was snowing and that the roads could be treacherous, her first thought was that someone had an accident and had walked to their home for help. She looked out the window and saw fresh footprints in the snow, and motion light at their front door was on. She woke her husband and sent him to see who was at the door. And then this is quotations from, like a direct quote from the story. When I looked out the window, I could see that the motion spotlight was on. I could see that there were footprints in the snow that had come from our road and into our driveway, but there was no car anywhere. The snow was still covering the road, and no one had driven on it for at least a couple hours. Our front door was obscured from the window, but I could see that someone was standing there. I wasn't sure what to think, so I woke my husband up just to feel safer. While I was telling him what was going on with the banging on the door, while I was telling him what was going on, the banging on the door started again, and my husband went to answer it while I stood in the hallway. When he opened the door, there was two children standing in the snow looking towards the ground. That's that's a very interesting thing, I find, anyways. They were a boy and a girl, and they could not have more than been 8 years old. They were dressed strangely and had odd haircuts. The girl's hair was very long and straight, and the boy had outdated haircuts, or had a dated haircut that looked almost like a bowl cut. They weren't dressed for winter, and my first thought was they must have been the Mennonite children, but as far as I know, there was never a large community of Mennonites near us. Maybe I'm a cautious person, but opening my door to anyone oh, this is in the quotation, this is back to the guy's article. Maybe I'm a cautious person, but opening my door to anyone banging on it at 2 a.m. in the middle of a snowstorm would make me a little more than wary. But they did, they did, and found two kids and a boy, or a boy, a girl, must have been 8 years old, dressed. Okay, he's basically just. All right. Here's more from the article, or from the actual experience. The children were very unnerving. They would not make eye contact, and when my husband asked them if they could come in, my husband looked at me like, "What do I do?" And I asked the kids where their parents were. "They'll be here soon," is all they said. So after this, they went ahead and let them in the house, right? So the guy the guy that wrote the article. It goes on to talk and say, despite their reservations, the couple let them in, started doing what anyone would do if they find a couple of kids in a snowstorm, making them something warm to drink and getting them comfortable until their parents get there. This is what they answered to, or this is what they answered to the questions their husband asked them. Our parents will be here soon, they spoke in a sing-songy voice. They weren't afraid to be in a stranger's home at all. Well, duh, if you were some weird creatures that probably could kill someone or cause harm to someone's life, you probably weren't worried about it too.
Right?
The guy goes on to say, this seems very unusual for a couple of kids that would expect to be cold, scared, and freaked out from being lost in the snowstorm. I know I would be if I was a kid, but yeah. Even so, there was actually an animal. There were animals in this situation. So the actual report says, I started to notice that our cats, we had 4, were all hiding except the pigeon who was in the kitchen with me. Normally our cats are very curious and friendly, and we have to be careful that they don't run out the door when we leave. This time, none of them even tried to see who was here, which I thought was very strange. All of a sudden, the hair on the pigeon's neck was standing straight up, and its tail was puffed up while he looked into the living room. When I bent down to pet him and see what was wrong, he hissed and started growling and backed up until he had himself under the kitchen island. I have never seen him do that. In other encounters, black-eyed kids have heard of, or this goes back to the guy's article. In other encounters with black-eyed kids, we have heard of dogs reacting very badly to BEKs, with even the most aggressive running in fear from them. These cats seem to be picking up on situations as well, and were avoiding these children. We will find out later that the cats had good reason to be wary of these quote unquote children. One thing that I ponder is where the negative effects from being around BEKs takes hold. Is it just an aura of dread and a doom that surrounds them? Or possibly is looking into their eyes the key element in them imparting their curse on you? Up, up until this point, the children had been avoiding eye contact, weird enough in of itself. But as she walked back into the living room, she locked eyes with them and saw that they were the classic all black eyes and the hallmark of black eyed kids. Exactly. And this lady goes on to say, it took everything inside of me not to drop the mugs and run away. When they looked at me,
I thought you were gonna say, took everything in me to not drop that motherfucker.
oh yeah, just kids. Anyways,
Fuck out
when they
here.
looked at me with their eyes, when they looked at me, their eyes were completely black. They had no whites, just a giant black pupil.
Black eyed peas. There you go, Cassie.
There you go. We fit it
There you
in.
go.
All right. So about this time, conveniently enough, the parents arrive. Upon seeing her reaction to their eyes, the two children excuse themselves and go as a pair to the bathroom. That's not weird. I find this odd in itself and wonder if this wasn't their chance to go signal someone for a pickup. As soon as they leave, they start talking about the kids. The husband spontaneously has a nosebleed. Yep, this was something that he had never done before. Then it was stranger and may coincide with my theory that they went to signal someone, the power goes out. Being from a rural area, I attest that the snow takes out power lines regularly. To lose power in a snowstorm is common, but the timing is very coincidental. The woman had gone to get some tissues for her husband's nose and was just heading back to him when the power went out. In the dark, she found that the children were done in the bathroom, unfazed by the dark. They just stood in the hall. This is something I assure you isn't normal. Yeah, if your power goes out and you're two kids that just went through a storm and you're in some random person's house, wouldn't you be like freaking out? Like,
Yeah,
these people are going to kill us.
no doubt.
Stay in the bathroom. No, you're just standing in the hallway.
Yeah. Light comes back on, goes off. Comes back
Yeah.
on, goes off.
Like
that-
nope.
like that
I
video,
just
The Lights
locked
Out.
myself in the other bathroom or something. So the lady goes on to say, I stopped dead in my tracks. The two children were standing at the end of the hallway. They weren't moving, and I have never been so scared in my whole life. They just stood there in the dark. After what it felt like forever, the boy said, our parents are here. They walked to the door, opened it, and walked out, leaving
Like a
it wide
Silence of the
open.
Lambs.
Leaving it, yeah. Our parents are here. Like, just, nope.
Wait. Say it again.
Our parents are here. Or, our parents are here. They're here. Anyways, so, yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah.
So they rushed to close the door behind them and were taken aback by what they saw in the driveway. Apparently, the parents that they had referred to were actually two mysterious men driving a black car.
Coincidence.
Right, just a coincidence. So the men looked like they were wearing black-colored suits and were very tall, at least 6 feet. And blah, 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 blah. We just talked about this. Okay, so the curse of the black-eyed children. After the black-eyed children left, the worst was not over. As with other close encounters with BEKs, the negative effects are long-lasting. In the months that followed, one of her cats hemorrhaged and died in the house. Poor cat.
Just bleeding out its eyes.
Right. The other cats have gone missing and presumably died. Also weird. Both she and her husband have continued to have nosebleeds. Eventually, he was also diagnosed as having an aggressive form of skin cancer. She does not go into So she does not go into detail, but claims to be in the worst state of her health, of her entire life. Could have been the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Just saying, the snowstorm could cause the nosebleed. It was really dry air.
Right.
Cause nosebleeds. If they don't get a humidifier in that house, it can frequently cause nosebleeds. I mean,
global warming.
Global warming can do it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you know,
That's and I'm sure the black eyes were because of like no coloring in their eyes, no pigment or anything. So I'm sure it was completely normal.
they're methed out children.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Is it just a coincidence, or were the BEKs emitting some sort of radiation? All of the symptoms for them and the cats would have been consistent with the form of radiation poisoning. But then wouldn't the BEK's parents have been affected as well? Unless they were also themselves black-eyed adults?
You gotta think. Gotta
Huh?
think.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe the kids weren't just signaling for somebody in the bathroom. Maybe they were setting off like some kind of radiation device to, you know what, we're going to slowly take out these mofos.
Yeah, and I mean
I don't like them. They didn't
that.
give us cookies. They didn't give us any candy. They
No,
didn't offer
they didn't
anything to
even do
drink.
nothing. I mean, I would be more concerned of how much of a bomb they left in the bathroom.
Down. I hope you guys flushed it twice
Yeah, no kidding.
for both of
Courtesy.
us.
But that I mean that pretty much is the end of the story in the article. Is like their health just rapidly declined, and
Hmm.
I mean I don't even know if they're still alive. I know the husband. I mean 2015. It's been 6 years, so who knows? But I wonder if in today's day and age, do we have anything to really help fight against radiation?
I mean, suits. We have the hazmat suits,
Well,
but that doesn't
yeah,
like
but I mean like once you have like
radiation poisoning is a different
yes,
thing.
yes,
I'm sure there's like some stuff that'll help fight the cancers and stuff like that developed from that. But like, I mean, once you're poisoned from the radiation, I think you basically die.
pretty
I
much
mean,
just
you look at people that go into Chernobyl. You know, those are the people that lived there. They didn't do anything for them. They're just all right. Nothing we can do. You're toxic now.
true,
You're the
true,
toxic Avenger.
true.
You're just gonna have that, you know, tail for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
Cassie.
What? What?
I was saying Cassie because I think she put a post up earlier about having a tail.
Yep. Not if you're
That's how you
dead
got to get it.
inside. Nice. Um. So there's also a little bit more to the whole like. So some people think like maybe black-eyed children are mystical creatures, right? Like there's been reports
Like
of
unicorns.
maybe. I mean, I don't know of any with horns, but
Or if you're like a cannibal, maybe they're magically delicious.
maybe. I do want to talk about black-eyed beings in folklore, but
Okay.
do you want to talk about your thing first?
No, you can go ahead and jump
All
in
right.
that.
So I'll go ahead and read this off. So this is from a different article. There is one more thing to consider in regards to black-eyed children. When Brian Bethel first posted his encounter on the forum, the first response he received was from someone who was familiar with such black-eyed beings. The responder described malicious fairies in pagan Irish folklore, which are said to have eyes such as those which Bethel encountered. The fairies of Irish folklore are no Tinkerbells. They come in a variety of shapes and appearances, one such appearance being black-eyed. Anyways, it kind of self-explanatory. In fact, the responder even went on to say that their own Irish great-grandmother made a habit of checking the eyes of every newborn baby to make sure they did not have black eyes.
Huh.
It seemed right. That's an interesting suspicion. Or is it suspicion?
Yeah.
Cool.
Superstition.
Superstition. That's it. Thank you. It seems then that there are precedents of such black-eyed entities, which adds legitimacy to Bethel and other people's reports. Whilst anecdotal evidence is always the most dubious form, when there are enough reports of the same phenomenon, further investigation is required. It could be that some malevolent being manifests in different ways, according to I'm sorry if there is anyways, according to what society finds most terrifying at given time. Dark-eyed fairies have transformed into black-eyed alien human-child hybrids, for this is what modern Western society influenced by TV and film has learned to fear the most. Are seemingly different entities throughout history actually the same beings appearing in different form? In such reports throughout the ages can be substantiated. This would be truly terrifying, especially when one reads the works of some ufologists who insists that Irish folklore had fairies flying around in aerial boats or specter ships. Naturally, one cannot help but draw links to modern-day UFO reports. This was combined with the similarity of black eyes between modern black-eyed children and malicious fairies of pagan folklore is the stuff of nightmares. Which, if the notion of cultural metamorphosis is correct, is precisely what it should be. As the years go by, more will be uncovered by the black-eyed children, or about black-eyed children. I mean, maybe I don't know, but
Who knows?
yeah, exactly. But that was an interesting twist that I wanted to add to it that nobody really talks about. I think so. Is that could be different kinds of thing.
Well, Kelly asks, is there any photographic evidence of BEKs, or are they elusive like Bigfoot?
Well, in today's day and age, it's hard to believe anything on the internet.
It is. Speaking of which, I do have a little video to show everybody. It's going to be a little long video, probably about 7 minutes, I think. There was this web or YouTube channel that this was posted on originally, and then the post got taken down, and it was hard to find this, and it's up again, and then I found it. Thank God, because I wanted to show it, because I thought you guys might enjoy it. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to run this YouTuber's video. I do want to say that this content does not belong to us, so all credit goes to them. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys, and we'll see what you guys think. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Be back soon.
Welcome back to my investigation of the Black-Eyed Kids. If you've been here before, you've seen my stories and evidence of these mysterious and terrifying creatures. If you're new, let me catch you up. I'm obsessed with finding proof that will legitimize the Black-Eyed Kids. I'm in touch with other paranormal researchers, and together we've been mapping data from Black-Eyed Kid encounters. Lots of you have sent me physical evidence too, but come on guys, a ton of that is fake. I always check for signs of Photoshop or 3D compositing, and I've spent hours sorting through photo, video, and audio proof, verifying the EXIF data, and fact-checking abduction stories against police reports, social media activity, and local news sources. Last week my efforts paid off with a truly astonishing discovery. We've all heard stories about the Black-Eyed Kids hunting in packs, and for a long time now I believe they must have a language all their own. How else could they coordinate their ambushes so well, so silently? Freya and Bill heard it. They describe noises the Black-Eyed Kids make as a sort of static electricity, and that's exactly what I found. I was able to isolate a low-frequency signal that appeared in the background of tons of my evidence. The sound appears in alleged Black-Eyed Kid recordings from multiple states over multiple years. I even checked with the paranormal investigators in Mexico, and they were able to find these frequencies in their recordings too. So I needed to test this. Is this truly the language of the Black-Eyed Kids? What would happen if I tried to communicate with them? In tonight's video, I share the scariest moment of my life. First, let's talk about the method. I set my laptop up near my door with an open window that gives good access to the front porch. Every night, my laptop is set to record to an external hard drive, and in the morning I would review the footage from the night before. Here you can see how I set the audio signal up to loop over and over. The spectrogram highlights the range of frequencies used by the Black-Eyed Kids. I thought of day one as a test, and I realized that the signal was maybe a little bit too soft to be heard. I boosted the signal for the second night. About 4 hours into this recording, I think somewhere around 3:20 a.m., something tripped my motion-activated front door light. After reviewing the footage, I was worried I wasn't able to pick up much in the darkness, so I kept the light on all night for the next recording. This is the thing with experiments. It's tough to know if you should make adjustments in the middle, but the more I obsessed over it, the more the blindingly bright front door light seemed like it could scare the kid off, so I decided to switch it back to motion-sensitive mode. Nothing on night 4. Though an interesting side note, I woke up as though I was hit by a bus. The black-eyed kid signal got really bothersome after a while. I felt like it was going to drive me crazy, and if not for this next recording, I probably would have given up. Whoever or whatever that is, it stood there for over an hour before disappearing. That's when I happened to wake up because I heard someone walking around outside. Hello?
So the rest of the video is basically him wandering outside looking around for this black-eyed kid that was on his porch. Never finds anything. So what do you think?
That's suspicious. That's pretty wild. Also wanted to laugh at Cassie's joke. I thought that was hilarious. I just couldn't laugh in the middle of the video because the mic was muted, but that was great. So, with it being from the internet, it's hard to tell. Plus, isn't it kind of suspicious that wouldn't that thing be able to see into the glass where the laptop is? Because when we saw the guy look back, you could see the laptop screen was on. So wouldn't it be a little suspicious?
I don't know. I mean, if it's a being from somewhere else, something else, doesn't know what that is.
Also looked like it looked like it was looking directly at the laptop. I don't know if you could tell, but it looked like it was looking around and then made connection with the laptop, and it was like, oh, it's peering into my soul. Oh god, like just one of those things. But yeah, I don't know. Wild, absolutely wild.
This video made the rounds for a while. Several
it
years
looked
ago.
familiar, but
Now, thing about this video is, guys, it is fake.
See, I was gonna say
It was built up too real, too good.
True.
This guy actually makes like films and stuff like that, and and this is like a style of film on YouTube.
We've been bamboozled.
You've been bamboozled, and you're welcome. So like the thing about Black Eyed Kids is this started in 1997. Like the stories really ran rampant since then. Yeah. And so, I mean, do you think that makes it an urban legend now? Like much like Slender Man?
Yeah, I would say they become like an urban legend. So I've also heard people throw around the word cryptid around, which I don't know if I would say cryptid, but I would definitely say urban legend.
I'd say urban legend. Now, on the other hand, everything has to start from somewhere. And who's to say something couldn't start in a relevant time?
Well, do we want to talk about the first story of Black Eyed Children?
Do you have that?
I gotta pull it up again.
I don't have it.
I did have it.
Huh? Basically, I mean, I can kind of just go offhand with it, but since we only have like 10 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
So, there was a guy. I'm trying to think of what was his name again?
It's right there. It was literally right there.
I'll pull it up real quick. It's right here. Excuse me. So, Brian Bethel in 1996 worked at a gas station. He went to a movie theater. I think it was the time like Mortal Kombat had come out.
Yeah.
He, I think, was leaving the theater, stopped somewhere, empty parking lot, and these kids, two young boys with black eyes, knocked on his car window, asking for a ride. And he felt that the kids were just kind of weird. Something was bizarre about these kids. And they continually like pressed him to give them a ride somewhere. And it scared him enough. He left home, or he didn't leave home. He left the area, went home, and got on the internet and wrote something about it and posted it somewhere on the internet. I don't know what was actually available in 1996 online, but his posts started turning heads, and then more and more people started experiencing the black-eyed children.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. I mean, it's to me, it's a wild phenomenon, but it's still one of those that's like so new that like, yeah, maybe in a 20-year, well, I guess it's almost been, let's see,
15 years,
almost 20 years.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, almost there. 20. Yeah, you're right.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
no, it's been almost 30 years.
Has it?
Yeah, we're in 2021.
Yeah, but if it started in 97.
96. 2000 to 2021 is 20.
But it's I mean it's I mean it's younger than I am though.
Right, and that's the thing, like who's to say that something can't be born, or like the first experience can happen yesterday?
Yeah.
Why does that have to happen 100, 300, 1,000 years ago?
And it's
could be aliens.
Says like when they really happen too, like what month, what like
yeah, that too.
Just random occurrences. So there's not really a timing like as far as that goes. But
so if it is aliens, they just probably never came to our planet until around that time period, and that's why the experiences of them started happening around that time period.
Or if it is aliens, maybe they thought maybe taking on the image of children would be more not enticing. That's horrible. More accepting. Yeah, more accepting. It would be more
until they meet somebody that's religious and they're like, the devil shows himself as children.
Yeah, like that's true. Well, that'd be an interesting occurrence. Satan was at my house. Like, you know.
What'd you do? I killed him. And then, like, so now everything that's alien is going to be associated with demons, and their reputation gets tarnished.
That's another topic to talk about sometime. But anyway, essentially, yes.
Yeah. You spend your life as a demon, and you try to build up a reputation, and aliens got to come and fuck it all up.
Or what if aliens are demons? But we'll get into that
later. Hey now.
What if angels? What if aliens are fallen angels?
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something.
Say it. I don't care.
God's an alien.
I thought God was a woman. Anyways.
Is God on Earth? No.
Yes.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
He's inside all of us, Dave.
That makes him a pedophile.
Not really.
If he's inside children.
But does he cause, not pleasure, but like, you know what I'm saying? That's messed up. That's messed up. Anyways, where this was, I would say, is a good subject is what if aliens are fallen angels?
Well, I mean, that's a good subject too. But like, as far as black-eyed kids go, I think it is one thing to assume something like this is an urban legend, much like Slender Man, which obviously we know the originating story on that. Whereas Black-Eyed Kids, the guy never said he made it up.
Yeah, true.
He just said that this happened.
Yeah. Which, if it was dark, maybe the eyes could have appeared to be black.
And maybe it was just shadowing. Because, like, if they were, I don't know, if they had heavy eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like
it could have been actually kids that needed a ride somewhere.
And he just left them for shit.
Screw you guys. And he just leaves. Like,
and he made it some excuse to make himself feel better about it.
Yep, and he spread it to the world. I gotta say something just in case these kids make my name bad or something. Just give me a bad name. This whole weird dude wouldn't give us a ride to where we needed to go.
And those little bastards dox him.
Yep. Cancel culture. Anyways.
So, but then again, like I said, could be these things just happen to come across our dimension, our planet, or whatever at that point in time. And we're just now experiencing it. As commonly as Bigfoot, I guess.
I have to do this. I have
to
poop?
Do this. No. You have to poop?
No.
Oh. I have to poop.
Look at Cassie's comment.
Play the best song in the world, or I'll eat your sorrows.
Well, me and Kyle, we looked at each other, and we each said, okay. Anyways, that's I love to
play the first thing that came to our head. Just so happened to be the best song in the world. It was the best song in the world.
Anyways,
look into my eyes and I see to see 1 and 1 make 2, 2 and 1 make 3. It was destiny. Anyway,
once every 100,000 years or so.
You're gonna grow a tail, Cassie. You're gonna grow it one day.
That's gonna happen. Anyways, that was fun. I've never really dove into the I've heard about them, never really got into them, but this has been a nice
little introduction for them.
Crash course on black-eyed children.
Now I will say
what?
Now I was gonna say that there are a lot of stories out there on the internet that you can find if anybody wants to do research. I'll tell you a website right now, Bullbap. I'll actually just post this. There's several, or not that one. One of the websites that I've got, it's got several stories from ranker.com. If you want to read some stories from people. These are people's legitimate stories. These aren't stuff that we make up or that we've, did all this research on. So there you go. There's a link. If you guys want to check out some of these stories, some interesting ones, some that suggest the old men in black thing and whatnot.
Yep.
But yeah.
First time I heard about them, I was actually investigating, or I was going to my cousin's house to investigate their house because they had sworn they had seen a black-eyed child around the property, and I was just like, "Oh, what's that?" And they kind of were just random kids that want to enter your house, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And
that's just something I'm going to hit with my baseball bat.
Yeah, I was like in one ear and right out the other, but that was a very, very interesting night too. That house was crazy active when I was They were asleep. I was by myself, and some really weird stuff happened. But I got to investigate it 2 nights, and it was really cool. One of the most active investigations I've ever been on in my life. It was wild. I literally
Yeah.
had a door, like I was sleeping on a couch, and a door opened up into the couch. Heard the door handle turn and just go dunk against the couch, and I like just froze. I was completely frozen, couldn't move, nothing. It was wild. Anyways,
Well, next week, guys, I do have something planned for us next week for the radio show. We don't have a topic. That'll be a surprise a little bit, but I do have a surprise for everybody for next week's show. And then the week after,
Night
we have
Castle.
a really cool show lined up. It's you're not going to be staring at our faces, our mugs, or anything, but it's going to be kind of in lieu of what's going to be happening with us in the Crescent. We're kind of taking that night off, but
Yeah.
we're still going to have a show. But the whole program is going to be this broadcast of a zombie apocalypse. It's pretty awesome if you like stage plays or radio plays and stuff like that. It's really interesting. It's like something you would hear in the background of a horror movie when everything's going down. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about it next week, and then of course on the 25th and 26th. Did I get those dates right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. We'll be at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs. I've reached out, haven't heard anything back yet. We're going to try to have some guests on for the show, talking about the history, talking about the hauntings, and who knows, maybe we'll do some ghost hunting.
I'm so pumped. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. It's gonna be such a great month.
Yes,
Such a great month. I'm ready.
I'm loving the stuff we've got lined up here. So
Yes.
all right, guys. Well, we appreciate you joining in with us, and yeah, let's just keep it spooky. Keep October rolling along here.
Instead of keep it classy, keep it spooky.
And we'll see you guys right here, same time, same place next week.
Bye, guys. Have a great night. And don't let black-eyed children into your house.
Into your hearts is where you should let them.
Well, that's where you should definitely let them.